This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 27th day of July in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Vice President Jagdeo today said the government will respect the ruling of the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, which granted precautionary measures in favor of the indigenous Carib community of Chinese Landing, who it said are at serious risk of suffering irreparable harm to their human rights. Mr. Jagdeo made a disclosure today while announcing further that the government will send a multi-stakeholder team into Chinese Landing to assess the situation. The indigenous community located in Region 1 has been facing a number of issues related to illegal mining and the breach of the rights of their people under the Amerindian Act.
We intend to respect the ruling of the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. So we are going to once again send in another team to visit the area, and that would be a multifaceted team dealing with environment, social issues, mining rights, everything, to meet with the community.
In its July 21st decision, the International Human Rights Group called on the Guyana government to take the necessary measures to protect the rights to life and personal integrity of the indigenous people living in Chinese Landing, with a cultural, gender-based, and age-appropriate perspective to prevent threats, harassment, and other forms of violence against the residents. Guyana has 20 days to inform the Commission on the adoption of the precautionary measures. According to the Vice President, a report will be completed based on the visit to Chinese Landing and submitted to the international group. He also told reporters that the government of Guyana is equally concerned about the issues faced by the people of Chinese Landing.
The community is our primary concern, and we believe that any transgressions there of a social, environmental, mining nature should be penalized heavily. We share that view.
The Vice President was keen to note that it was the government, through the Guyana-Georgia Mines Commission, that issued a cease work order to Wayne Vera back in 2010 due to a breach of the Amerindian Act. He said the Caribbean Court of Justice, however, overturned that order, ruling in favor of the miner in 2017.
So we had stopped mining in this village effectively, saying you have to comply with the Amerindian Act. That was the government's position. The Caribbean Court of Justice, the apex court, has ruled against us, and so we had to lift the cease order.
Jagdeo said the government had granted residents of Chinese Landing land to mine. However, the community continues to face issues related to illegal mining outside of the issue involving Vera. According to the International Human Rights Group, residents of Chinese Landing have reportedly faced repetitive incidents of threats and harassment, including death threats. The group is a principal and autonomous body of the Organization of American States, whose mandate stems from the OAS Charter and the American Convention on Human Rights. The Inter-American Commission has the mandate to promote the observance and defense of human rights in the region and acts as an advisory body to the OAS on the matter. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Oh my lord. I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup!
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
Buster, bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Buster, bust the flavors. Buster, bust the flavors.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grades 7, 8, and 9 students for the 2023-2024 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 613-4806.
Strong and solid in countries far and wide. New India Assurance, we're standing by your side. Golden service, half a century and more. New India Assurance, our policies are secure. From the heart of India, we serve these islands. The strength that you can trust, you're safe when you come to New India Assurance Company. Assurance when you need it most.
For your home, motor or business insurance, visit New India Guyana office, 58 Brickdam next to Star Computers. Telephone 226-0415-7. Comfortable parking available.
Well, the opposition APNU has stepped up its calls for the government to establish an independent commission of inquiry to probe the circumstances surrounding the deadly fire at Madhya in the school dorm. The fire claimed the lives of 20 children back in May. Although the president has promised to establish a commission of inquiry, no announcement has been made as to the start date of that commission. He has already identified retired Major General Joe Singh as the chairman of the commission. During a press conference today, opposition leader Aubrey Norton said the government's continued delay in the establishment of the Commission of Inquiry is making it appear that it has lots to hide, or that the president is trying to shield some of his ministers.
But I do believe there is still need for an investigation, but that it should be done by people independent of the government. People who are prepared to follow the facts rather than follow the dictate of Barra Jackdale. And so we want an independent inquiry. We believe that the government is contemptuous of the citizenry of this country by offering $5 million.
Norton said the failure by the president to have the inquiry will give rise to the notion that the government is trying to cover its tracks. He also expressed concern about the scene of the incident not being properly protected.
The government did what they did. Clearly, it's an attempt to cover up and to ensure that people never get to the bottom of this story. Now, I do believe it will impact negatively on the investigation.
Just last week, it was revealed that debris from the scene of the deadly fire was used to fill potholes in the community. Mr. Norton condemned the government's settlement with the families of the victims ahead of a commission of inquiry taking place.
If they did any basic analysis, $5 million cannot last a year. So we want an independent investigation, but we do believe the government did everything to compromise the investigation.
It has been 66 days since the Madhya tragedy occurred. Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force Brigadier Omar Khan and Commander of the U.S. Military Southern Command General Laura Richardson have signed a human rights framework agreement committing the GDF and the U.S. Military Southern Command to human rights engagement, cooperation, and integration. Guyana is now the 13th nation to join Southcom's Human Rights Initiative. The initiative seeks to promote a culture of respect for human rights and to bring together military, public security, government, and civil society representatives from across the Western Hemisphere with the aim of developing comprehensive and effective human rights programs for defense and security forces. In a release today, the U.S. Embassy here in Georgetown announced Guyana's ascension to the Human Rights Pact, saying that human rights has always been a pillar of the Guyana Defense Force's operational and administrative mandate and is reflective in the values and standards of the GDF. The U.S. Embassy said the opportunity to sign on to the regional initiative demonstrates the GDF's commitment to the principles and promotion of human rights in Guyana. Through its Human Rights Office, Southcom previously supported the efforts of 12 countries that committed to implementing human rights programs in their defense or public security programs, including the Dominican Republic, which established the first Latin American military school dedicated to human rights education, as well as Colombia and Peru, which also established military schools dedicated to human rights education and training. Among other things, the Human Rights Initiative has contributed to the development of a consensus document on human rights that currently serves as a human rights model.
Welcome to Building Expo. And every country want friendship like the village on the east bank. Make up out then if you want land.
Who knows if they actually need the roads that are being built.
The opposition today vowed to continue to press on with its calls for there to be a full and proper investigation of the rape allegations that were leveled against former local government minister Nigel Daramlal by a schoolgirl. Following the resignation of Daramlal, the young lady who accused him of rape released a statement claiming that she expected the issue to go away with his resignation. But for the opposition, the young lady's recent statements may have been coerced. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton and Member of Parliament Coretta MacDonald said based on the series of events which took place after the original rape allegation was filed, a full and thorough investigation is still needed.
It is evident here that it is the power of the purse that was used to get the young lady to retract what she was saying. And you can put yourself in the place of a child, 16, 17 years old, in which the police coming at you, the bribers coming at you, the political operatives coming at you. They would have worn her down. She must have arrived at the point where it was too much for her.
Mr. Norton said the offense is one that has no statute bar and therefore it has to be pursued. For her part, opposition Member of Parliament Coretta MacDonald said the child was not properly protected by the state after she made known her allegations.
What this here has done is to set a dangerous precedent for many more young Amerindian girls and other girls, because it has come to a point now where people are going to be very skeptical. Persons who want to really help, if there is a real situation, persons are going to be very, very skeptical about helping. But like we said, we are not going to allow this matter to rest.
Mr. Dharamlal has been keeping a relatively low profile since his resignation. The Caribbean Court of Justice today denied the appeal of 3 former members of the Guyana Coast Guard who were convicted of murder and are currently serving life sentences. The 3 soldiers, Sherwin Hart, Devon Gordon and Dion Greenwich, were convicted in 2013 and sentenced to death over the robbery and murder of gold miner Dwev Kant Ramdas. The man was killed in August of 2009 and his body dumped overboard in the river. The soldiers had initially appealed their conviction and death sentence in the Guyana Court of Appeal. The local court upheld the conviction, but reduced the sentence to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 18 years. Not satisfied with that decision, the 3 convicts took their case to the Caribbean Court of Justice. The CCJ has now refused special leave to appeal the case, thereby denying the appeal completely and affirming the life sentence handed down by the Court of Appeal in Guyana. The CCJ, bearing in mind that the offenders were members of the Guyana Defense Force who robbed and murdered an innocent citizen, found that there was no ground for regarding the sentence imposed as excessive or so manifestly outside the mainstream of sentences as would merit granting leave to appeal it. Furthermore, the CCJ said the Court of Appeal had imposed the minimum sentence that it was mandated to do, and therefore the applicants had no basis for complaint. The court also dismissed a request by one of the convicts, Dion Greenwich, for his conviction to be overturned completely. And the court also refused to hear the men's case about the constitutionality of the death sentence, pointing out that their sentencing had already been reduced to a life in prison jail term.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
Sorry.
Jack?
Hey.
Boys, where you going with all that speed?
Yo, today's the 15th. My NIS contributions are due, and I ain't even get the forms as yet.
Hold on. You mean to tell me that you're not aware that all self-employed persons can now make their NIS contributions using the MMG app from the comforts of their homes and offices?
Really? I just pay my bills using MMG,
Yes, Jack, and the thing's simple. All you have to do is open the app, select Pay Bills, Government Services, NIS, and Pay. They will prompt you to enter your NIS number, the month you're paying for, and the amount.
So I don't need to submit any form?
No. The only time you submit in a form is when you're making a claim.
Wait, I could make a claim too?
Oh, no, man, Jack. You didn't know that? Yes. All self-employed persons are entitled to all benefits from NIS. Well, except for the industrial benefits. And here's the good part. All of their forms, you can download them from the NIS website.
Well, girl, I'm really glad I bumped into you.
Anyhow, make sure you pay your bills later.
Later? I gotta sit down right here and pay my contributions first.
Take care.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor at the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, CARICOM heads of government and the CARICOM Reparations Commission are encouraged by the recent apologies several prestigious academic institutions, corporations and families have offered regarding slavery. CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Burnett made the disclosure on Wednesday while addressing the opening ceremony of the 5th International Conference, Transition and Trajectories in Pan-African Development, Pan-African Enterprise Research Council. In her virtual presentation, the Secretary General recognized the efforts to address the long history of exploitation and discrimination against people of African descent. However, she pointed out that more needs to be done for Africa and its diaspora to enjoy full political, economic, social, cultural, and environmental freedom and sovereignty. She said the Caribbean community is increasing cooperation with the African Union to build on the Pan-African vision and give meaning to the concept of the diaspora as the 6th region of Africa. President of the Fullerton Fishing Association in Trinidad and Tobago, Paula Buckmeyer, said fishermen impacted by an oil spill in the southwestern peninsula last week have not yet returned to work. In a Trinidad Express report, Buckmeyer said at least 22 boats, engines and all the equipment were stained by the oil that reached the shoreline in Fullerton. Heritage Petroleum Company has met with the fishermen, she said, but no decision had been made on compensation. Buckmeyer said fishermen depend on the vessels for their livelihood and called on Heritage to respond. Buckmeyer said fishermen also raised the issue of another oil spill last year, which affected several boats. And finally tonight, international news. July 2023 is set to surpass previous heat benchmarks, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said on Thursday, after scientists said it was on track to be the world's hottest month on record. According to Reuters, the UN World Meteorological Organization (WMO) and European Union's Climate Change Service also said in a joint statement it was extremely likely July 2023 would break the record. Climate change is here. It is terrifying and it's just the beginning, Guterres told reporters, adding that the era of global boiling has arrived. The effects of July's heat have been seen across the world. Thousands of tourists fled wildfires on the Greek island of Rhodes, and many more suffered baking heat across the U.S. Southwest. Temperatures in a northwest China township soared as high as 52.2 degrees Celsius, breaking the national record.
And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.